Dynamic plugins are effect layers that are non-destructive. This means the effects are not permanently applied to the layer content. Some of these plugins affect all underlying layers, while others create their own layer. The effects can be modified at any time by double-clicking on the dynamic plugin layer. I'll select the Bevel Me layer, and then I'll click on the dynamic plugin icon and choose Bevel World. That brings up the Bevel World panel, which gives you control over the bevel width and other properties that will allow you to turn a 2D layer into a pseudo 3D layer. I'm not going to go over all of these controls, I just want to give you an idea of what these plugins can do, and you can feel free to experiment with them. If I click on OK, the bevel effect has been applied to the layer, but only as a live effect, meaning that I can double-click next to that layer and return to Bevel World to adjust the bevel again. As long as I don't convert the dynamic plugin layer to a default layer, I can keep adjusting the bevel. I also have to be sure to save this document as a Painter RIF, or else the dynamic plugin layers will be converted to flattened default layers. Let's browse some of the other plugins. I'll select the Equalize Liquid Lens Posterize layer, then I'll go to the dynamic plugin menu and select Equalize. This is a global effect that creates its own layer. When you apply Equalize, it brings up the Equalize panel, and here you can adjust the light and dark values of the entire composition. This can be useful for correcting lighting or contrast in your artwork and image composites. Because this is a dynamic layer, I can adjust the lighting anytime, but it's also separate from my artwork, so it cannot destructively affect my layers. If I no longer need it, I can delete Equalize. Let's try Liquid Lens next. The advantage to using Liquid Lens is that you can distort all of your objects in your scene at once, regardless of whether they are on separate layers. Plus, you can edit the Liquid Lens distortion effects in ways that you cannot with the distortion brushes. Liquid Metal is the last plugin I will mention, because it creates some really unique effects. If I draw with this plugin, it creates reflective metal strokes, with media that is attracted to itself in a way that resembles a liquid. I can even change the image reflected in the metal surface by choosing from several presets, or by selecting my own image as a clone source. Dynamic plugin layers can only be used for effects. If I want to do anything else like paint or blend on this Bevel World plugin layer, I'll need to commit it to a default layer. This happens automatically when I blend on the layer. Once I do that, I can no longer edit that live effect, so I'm stuck with that bevel.